In the rarefied air of academia, ambition can be a dangerous thing. For some, it's a quiet fire, a drive to uncover what lies hidden in the data. For others, it's a consuming hunger, willing to devour anything, or anyone, in its path. This is a story about the intersection of those two worlds, a tale of trust, betrayal, and the digital ghosts that refuse to stay buried. It begins, as many great discoveries do, in the quiet hum of a server room, late at night. Lines of code flicker across the screen, a digital tapestry woven from algorithms and sleepless nights. For months, this was my world. My life was a cycle of caffeine, complex mathematics, and the relentless pursuit of a single, elegant solution. I was building a model, something revolutionary in data science, something I believed would change everything, and I wasn't alone. I had a mentor, Professor Alistair Finch, a titan in the field, a man whose name was synonymous with integrity. He saw the potential in my work from the start. Our collaboration was electric. He'd lean over my shoulder, pointing at a line of code, his eyes alight with the same passion that drove me. Right there, he'd say, "That's the key. You've found it." We spent countless hours debating variables, sketching formulas on whiteboards until they were a chaotic mess of brilliance. He wasn't just a supervisor, he was a confidant, a partner. He praised my intuition, my tenacity. He told me this work, our work, would be our legacy. I trusted him completely. The model was more than just code, it was a testament to that trust. It was a symphony of shared intellect, and I was its primary composer. The late nights bled into early mornings, the lab becoming a second home. Every solved equation, every successful test run felt like a victory we shared. The final breakthrough came at 3:17 a.m. on a Tuesday. The simulation ran perfectly. The data converged. It was beautiful, a perfect, logical harmony I had wrestled from the chaos of raw information. I felt an overwhelming sense of accomplishment, of pure, unadulterated joy. I sent the final files to Finch, my excitement palpable in the hurried email. "We did it," I wrote. "It's finished. It works." He replied almost instantly. "Incredible work. You should be proud. Let's prepare the presentation." The trust was absolute. The future seemed bright, paved with the promise of recognition and the validation of my hard work. I had no reason to believe otherwise. After all, he was my mentor. The presentation was a blur of adrenaline and confidence. I stood before Finch in his office, walking him through the model's architecture, the elegance of its predictive power. The slides clicked by each one a monument to my dedication. I pointed to the graphs, the stunning accuracy of the outputs. He watched, nodding, his expression a mask of scholarly approval. "Brilliant," he murmured. "Truly brilliant." That was the last time I felt that pride. The memory now feels fractured, tainted, a door closing, a quick, downward glance at a screen, the click of a mouse. Fragmented images now haunt me. Finch, alone in his office, his face illuminated by the cold blue light of the monitor. My name, at the top of the manuscript draft. The cursor blinks, then selects the text. Delete, my contributions, my identity, erased in a single keystroke. Another flash, his hands, forging my signature on a document. A transfer of intellectual property rights I never agreed to. His face is calm, methodical. There's no hesitation. This isn't a moment of weakness. It's a calculated act of erasure. The files are renamed. The author metadata is scrubbed clean. My digital ghost is being exorcised from my own creation. The memories loop, faster and faster. My confident presentation, the delete key, my name vanishing. His pen on the paper, the trust I had placed in him, the shared journey, was just a means to an end. For him, I was never a collaborator. I was a resource to be exploited, a ghostwriter for his ambition. The architecture of my model was being repurposed, not for science, but for a narrative of singular geniuses. The betrayal wasn't just in the theft of my work, but in the cold, systematic deletion of my existence from it. Every line of code I wrote was being claimed. Every late night I spent was being rewritten as his own solitary struggle. The man I admired was a predator, and I had willingly walked into his trap, blinded by respect and ambition. The world I had built was collapsing. It came as an email notification, a university press release. Professor Finch unveils groundbreaking AI model. I clicked the link. There it was, the journal cover, my work, my model, my sleepless nights, my breakthrough, my soul, distilled into a 10-page paper, and one name under the title, Alistair Finch. The world went silent. The air left my lungs. My hands started to shake. It wasn't just disappointment. It was a profound, physical violation. It felt like watching a stranger, where my skin. The initial shock gave way to a cold, burning rage. But grief and anger were luxuries I couldn't afford. He had erased me, but he had underestimated me. He knew my work, but he didn't know me. He thought he had deleted the evidence. He was wrong. My hunt began. Not in a library, but in the digital ether. My laptop became my weapon. This was my territory. I started with the server logs, access times, IP addresses, Finch's late-night sessions, downloading the final builds from my directory, moments after I had uploaded them. Then, the code repositories. Version control is a beautiful thing. Every change, every commit, logged with a user ID and a timestamp. There it was, inarguable. 97% of the codebase committed from my account. I ran a forensic analysis on the file metadata. Even after he'd scrubbed the visible author field, the deeper data told a story. My machine ID, my user profile, embedded like a digital watermark in the very DNA of the files he now claimed as his own. The final piece came from my own sent folder. The email, "We did it," I had written. I started digging into the email server's recovery protocols. Deleted items aren't always gone. I found his original reply, the one he thought he'd permanently erased from the server. Incredible work. You should be proud. The timestamp was undeniable. It was an admission, a confirmation. He had created a lie, but the digital world has a long memory. Every deleted file, every altered document left a trace, a breadcrumb. I followed them, one by one. Each piece of recovered data was a nail in the coffin of his deception. He had stolen my work, but I was reclaiming the proof. This was no longer about credit. This was about war. The annual symposium, the grand hall was packed. Academics, donors, the university provost. Alistair Finch was the keynote speaker, the man of the hour. He stood at the podium, basking in the applause, a smug smile on his face as he began his speech. The path to discovery is a solitary one, he began, his voice echoing through the hall. It requires singular focus, a devotion that few can comprehend. I watched from the side of the stage, my heart pounding a steady, cold rhythm. I waited for my moment. As he presented the first slide, a complex diagram of my model's core logic, I made my move. I walked calmly to the secondary podium, a microphone in my hand, my laptop connected to the main projector. "Professor," I said, my voice cutting through his speech. The room fell silent. Every eye turned to me. Finch's face froze, a flicker of panic in his eyes. "You speak of a solitary path," I continued, "but you weren't alone on this one, were you?" His face paled. I clicked the remote. The main screen behind him changed. His presentation vanished, replaced by a split-screen display. On one side, the server log, showing his IP address, downloading my final files. On the other, the Git repository log, a sea of my username, next to thousands of lines of code. A gasp rippled through the audience. I clicked again. The forged document appeared, my signature starkly different from my real one, shown side by side. Then, the recovered email. His words, "Incredible work. You should be proud," projected 10 feet high for the world to see. The date and timestamp glowed beneath it. Finch's composure shattered. His face, once a mask of academic authority, collapsed into a canvas of shock and horror. He opened his mouth, but no words came out. The evidence was irrefutable, a digital fusillade he could not deflect. Flash after flash, the proof cycled on the screen. Legal documents, official complaints filed with the ethics committee, text overlays stating authorship fraud, data tampering, perjury. The titan of academia was being dismantled, line by line, byte by byte, in front of the very world he sought to impress. His kingdom of lies, built on my stolen genius, had crumbled into pixels. They call it intellectual property. But it's not property. It's a part of you. It's the late nights, the moments of doubt, and the spark of discovery. It's a piece of your mind, given form. To have that stolen is to have a part of yourself erased. The harsh truth is this. In the world of ideas, there are builders and there are thieves. The thieves are often charming. They hold positions of power. They praise you. They mentor you. They gain your trust. And when your back is turned, they take what is yours and call it their own. They believe their status will protect them. They believe your voice is too small to be heard. They believe that the proof can be deleted, that the truth can be buried under layers of prestige and authority. They are wrong. In this digital age, nothing is ever truly gone. Every keystroke leaves an echo. Every file leaves a ghost. The truth doesn't need a loud voice. It just needs to be shown. It can be found in the server logs, in the version histories, in the recovered data. Genius can be stolen, but the evidence of its creation is permanent. Don't just protect your work. Document everything, because the same tools you used to build can be used to prove you were the builder. Remember that. Thanks for watching.